Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to hot Siem Reap, Cambodia. I'm here with an amazing brother, Ed, from the US, and I want to take this opportunity. A lot of you guys have been asking me to do more of these kind of interviews with expats and black travelers around the world. So when we kind of literally ran into each other in the market, it was absolutely something I had to make sure I got done. So Ed, thank you so much, brother. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I've been a fan for a long time.
Thank you, thank you. So let's start by talking about the beauty of YouTube and black travel and just social media in general. So I'm walking through the market. I'm actually on my way, looking down at my phone, on my way to go see another friend to grab a drink. And I look up and I see him coming out of the bar, and he saw me. Yes. And then just like approached me because he knew who I was from YouTube.
Yeah, I think you really hit the nail on the head earlier. YouTube, social media in general, Instagram, Facebook, has revolutionized travel, especially black travel, because you know what I usually do before I go to a destination, or if I want to go, say I want to go visit Bali, or I want to go to Sri Lanka or something like that, I'll go look at top 10 things to do in those places, or you know, there's a video about this is where you should stay, or you know, these are the visa requirements, or whatever it is. And that's how I got, you know, I saw your videos first, because before I went to Thailand, I looked at your Thailand videos, and I think it's really it's such a tool now, because it gives you a feel, a visual, something about video.
Yeah.
Something about video. It's one thing to read it or see the top 10 in print, but to see someone say, hey, listen, this is, you know, if you want to go to the temples, go at this time and buy your ticket at this place. I mean, you use it as a tool to make your trip a little more enjoyable and safe.
So you're living here now.
Yes.
Siem Reap. Now, I live in Bangkok when I'm off the road. I've lived in Europe. Yeah. What brought you to Siem Reap? Because for me, Siem Reap is like, it's a tourist city. It's specifically designed for tourism. Like, what would make somebody move here?
Well, I'll keep it real simple. I mean, the people, and cost of living. Oh yeah. You know, me being a veteran on a disability pension goes a long way here. You know, also, it's not, you know, Siem Reap is, of course, it's not the capital of Cambodia, but it's the crown jewel of Cambodia because of Angkor Wat. And you're absolutely right. I mean, you're 100% right. It is a tourist mecca. I mean, I think last year there were a little over 2.3 million visitors that came, and especially starting like in December, where you have a lot of, you know, that's the high season. Right. You know, December, January, that time frame. But, you know, as for me specifically, I was always fascinated with Southeast Asia, and actually I got my feet wet in Thailand, I guess like most of us do. You know, I went to Bangkok for a week or so, and then I went up to Chiang Mai, and then down to Phuket to the beaches, and did all of that. And I said, okay, I'm going to settle right here in Thailand, because there are a lot of expat community.
Oh yeah, a lot of us.
A lot of us there, and it was going to take about 7 days for my apartment to be ready. So I said, hey, why don't I just jump on an Air Asia flight and go see Angkor Wat? I mean, just fill in that time. Right. And I got here, and immediately I was just taken in by the people. You know, because again, YouTube, I did my little research, not just on Angkor Wat, but the history of Cambodia. Yeah. You know, for that almost 4-year period, that Pol Pot and the Khmer Rouge basically conducted genocide here. You know, and they killed, you know, modest estimates, 1.7 million people. And to be able to come here and meet these people, and for them to be so happy. Yeah. You know, I think you've experienced this since you've been here. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but they're very welcoming. They're very genuine. The hospitality, you don't quite have, you know, of course, like any tourist place, you're gonna have the, hey, come into my shop and do this, but it's not in your face.
Yeah, not aggressive.
It's not aggressive. I guess that's the word I'm looking for. But it's you know, Cambodia, and not just that, but then I ran into some very wonderful other expats. Yeah. Not just from the U.S., but you know, Germany, Australia, New Zealand, and
Philippines.
And I absolutely love that there's a community and a sense of family here. And also, Siem Reap is growing by leaps and bounds. Cambodia, if you guys don't know much about the geography of Southeast Asia, Cambodia is centrally located. You know, we're only 50-minute flight to Bangkok.
Barely, yeah.
You know, you're 50 minutes to Phuket.
Yeah.
You know, you're
Vietnam,
2 hours.
yeah.
Yeah. You're less than an hour. You know, to Ho Chi Minh. If you want to go to Manila, it's a 2-hour flight. And
it's a great hub.
It's a great hub. You know, I have a friend of mine here who works for a company based in China, and he chose Siem Reap. So that's why I chose it. I mean, it's slower pace of life. I can easily get back, even if I need to get back to the States. I can get back. So that's why I chose Siem Reap.
Okay, so now this is Tipsy Turtle's Hostel, your spot.
Yeah.
All right. So what motivated you to invest in Cambodia?
Well, you know, the thing is living here. You know, having great. You want to give something back on a tangible level to this community. You know, like at my house, for instance, you know, right behind my apartment is a school. And these kids are at school at 10, 11 o'clock at night on Saturdays and Sundays. You know, you see kids riding their bikes. You see kids walking, you know, and to be able to tangibly give something back because I'm not going to really go there, but, you know, most of the money that comes in through Angkor Wat doesn't stay here. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it goes to Vietnam.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that Angkor Wat's not owned by Cambodians anymore. It was sold to a Vietnamese businessman who
rents it out, basically.
Basically rent it out.
Yeah, so, you know, when you come here, I would urge you to support places like Tipsy Turtle, great restaurant, great bar. Also, not just that, but
Jamna's Kitchen as well. Where I ate last night, Jamna's Kitchen, they give about 10%. I'll leave a link in the bio. They give at least 10% of their proceeds to charity, as well as supporting like local swim teams and stuff like that. And
also the music spot that you went to. That guy has opened up a school here, and you want to give back. I mean, these. You know, Cambodia has taught me the difference between having what I need to live and having what I want to live. You know, and it's more important to have what you need. You know what I mean? Because you know, in the U.S. we tend to get so materialistic, and we tend to be, well, I got to have this new car, and I got to have the new iPhone, and I got to have this, and I got to have that. You know, when you have people here who are, you know, walking a couple of miles to go to school, kilometers to go to school. You know, so, you know, that was my, you know, main reason. And even, you know, having you have me on to talk about Cambodia in general, maybe gets more people to come visit.
Yeah, I hope so. Okay, so I want to talk about you traveling as a brother and your journey. We had a conversation, and you can say whatever you want or what you don't want to. I was looking at some pictures you had in India, in your pilgrimage to India, which you do not hear a lot of brothers doing. I've done either. I've been to India several times, but I've never done the spiritual journey that you went on to India. And as a fellow veteran, the things that you went through that took you there, and the way it helped you. Can you go into a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, actually, the whole pilgrimage to India started at the Atlanta VA Hospital, 4th floor acute psychiatric ward, having some real problems with PTSD, depression.
You were in for 22 years?
Yeah, and then there was a suicide attempt, you know, basically, and I met a Indian doctor, Dr. Telikapali, and he said, well, we got you on all these different medications, so we're going to take you off, and we're going to put you, we're going to take you down to the base level, because when you're on SSRIs, you can't go cold turkey. Right. Anyway, but he said you need meditation, not medication. And he gave me a book about Mindfulness by John Kabat-Zinn, Introduction to Mindfulness, which is, even if it's 5-10 minutes a day of just being somewhere quiet and meditating. And I found out that it's easier said than done. Yeah, because there's so many things that distract you. But and that led Dr. Telikapali and I to started having to talk, because when you get into meditation, you're gonna talk about Buddhism eventually, because they go hand in hand. Yeah, it comes from that. So I made the decision that if I ever got the opportunity, that I would go to India. And then coming here to Cambodia, I went over to Wat Bo, which is one of the main temples here. and I started talking to Chum. He's a senior monk over there, and we started talking about the tenets of Buddhism and how meditation can help me with my PTSD and my depression, about staying in the moment, not reflecting on the past. In other words, you don't live in the past, you don't live in the future, you live in the present. And then I found this awesome tour. It's a 12-day tour, and I had a personal driver, and basically I followed in the footsteps of the Buddha. Lumbini, Nepal, where he was born, and then on to Bodh Gaya, where he sat under the Bodhi tree and gained nirvana or enlightenment, and then Sarnath, which is right next to Varanasi, which everybody knows about the Ganges. Mm-hmm. That's really popular. That's all over. But a lot of people don't know that Siddhartha Gautama was a Hindu. He was a Hindu prince that sort of was the father of Buddhism. And how all of that relates back to my life is the fact that daily meditation I have here keeps me in the present. The flashbacks, the PTSD, the bad dreams. I find a way to compartmentalize that. Mm-hmm. Like when I wake up in the morning and I meditate and my neighbor slams the door, I recognize that I heard the door slam, and then I don't beat myself up for being a bad meditator because I heard the door slam. Mm-hmm. And I put that in the file cabinet that I got distracted. Then I go back to meditating. Right. And I sort of do that in life, when I'm running into an obstacle, or if I'm running into a flashback or an intrusive thought, I acknowledge the intrusive thought. I said, it's okay, I've been through that, I put it in the file cabinet and I move on. So that's another reason, on a real personal level, why I love it here.
So you're a 22-year veteran, you're a black male. Mm-hmm. For us, PTSD is just a way of life. It's a natural way of life. Even if you didn't serve in the military, just growing up in the inner cities.
Yes.
It just comes with being black in America. So, what are your views on things like meditation and Buddhism, and how those things could help and benefit brothers on a wide scale?
On a wide scale, I think that it's absolutely imperative that you have an open mind. Mm-hmm. I think, especially like you and I seeing each other was just like so random.
Yeah.
But it's like we're the exception to the rule when it comes to traveling. I see a lot of black women.
Oh yeah. We were talking about this. It's like 90% black women who are traveling in these travel groups, these events, and it's just the reality. The numbers don't.
Yeah, and I think that sometimes us as black travelers, we tend to stick with what's comfortable.
Yeah.
The Caribbean. Mm-hmm. Now Africa is booming. Everybody wants to go to Ghana, Nigeria. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to like Southeast Asia, like you said, like India, Sri Lanka, Indonesia, all of these places have so much to offer. And you've been around Southeast Asia. Each country is unique in its own way.
Very much so. I think I would say that Asia is probably the most diverse continent.
Exactly.
And how each country interacts, how they think, how they speak, their culture and their food, and for them to be so close together and interconnected, it's just baffling how you'll have Thailand and Malaysia which border each other, but they're not the same at all.
They're not the same at all.
Yeah.
Like if you go up to northern Thailand and you go to like Chiang Rai and those places, you go right into Laos. You can take a little speedboat. Takes you right to Laos, right across the river. But I think for us as black travelers, especially black men, is that you're gonna get the looks, you're gonna get the stares, because I got them. When I was even in Portugal, when I was in Portugal and Italy and Spain, but it's not that look of not wanting you there.
It's disgust.
Like if disgust or racism or anything like that, it's we don't see you.
Yeah.
They don't see us.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that's why what you do is so important. It's the fact that we need to broaden our horizons. I mean, we need to be able to go to India, do something that scares you. I mean, me going to India for 12 days and not speaking the language, and it was a little intimidating, but yet it was so rewarding.
Yeah.
Because once you travel, I think there's a great travel quote that said, "I've really grown because I've seen the sunrise on the other side of the world." It's you start to notice that a Khmer person and I can be totally different, but we have so much in common.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
the human condition is universal.
Yeah, the profound experience of being human, of us coming here and understanding that these people, they want to take care of their families. They suffer with they face the same challenges. It might be on a different scale or in a different context, a certain way. But also, I think what's really important, Eric, is that us traveling, especially, as Black people, is so humbling.
Yeah,
it's so humbling because you start taking things for granted.
Yeah.
Until you come somewhere where, like the average Khmer, I think makes $2 a day, if that. And you start to really realize that, you're kind of a very, very minuscule part of this whole world.
And really, I'm a fan of numbers, and I want to say it was about 2 years ago. There was a survey done, a global survey about poverty, and if you make approximately $34,000 US, you're in the top 1% of people around the world, globally.
Wow.
Top 1% globally, and for a lot of people, that's
not enough money to live off
yeah.
of. No.
And it's an interesting conversation. One quick thing. Along those lines, there's a photo I'm going to post up on my Instagram tomorrow morning, Monday morning. And I was walking through the night market and I saw some of the most beautiful art. And I saw this guy, who's the owner of the shop. He was painting a shirt and just putting, literally just copying his paintings onto a shirt. By hand, beautiful work. And I asked him, can I take a picture of you? Yeah, of course. So I was taking a picture. And while I'm taking a picture, I noticed his daughter in the background. Mind you, I didn't know it was his daughter, but I noticed a little girl in the background. And I left, and I came back maybe 3 hours later, and the picture was sitting there. I mean, the shirt was drying, and I saw him dancing with the little girl, like a little further back into. And it was one of the most beautiful scenes, and I didn't shoot it because I didn't want to invade their privacy, but it was just such a beautiful human moment. Is that this person who's an artist, who's trying to make a living in a tourist destination like this, is also a father, and a human being. And I think a lot of that gets lost in the chaos and the heat and the frustration of tourist destinations around the world, where you'll see online, and even with a lot of travel journalists who say, oh well, it's annoying that people are always approaching you to buy something. And it's like, well, there's the human element. Like, you could say no with a smile and be respectful, because you got to understand that that's where people are coming from too.
Yeah, I think that's a very important point, because what I've learned is that $2, $1, $2, $3 shirt or something that you're buying, means nothing to you
in
the long run. But for that vendor, for that person, it's an absolute. That might be all the money they make that day.
Yeah.
And see, that's what I talked about being humble, is looking at life through other people's lenses and looking at it through a human lens. Is the fact that, when I come from the U.S., like for instance, and I give you a prime example specifically to Cambodia, and you've experienced it, the tuk-tuk drive.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The tuk-tuk drivers that drive you around. And I remember coming here, and I wanted to come from like where I was living or something down to Pub Street. And the tuk-tuk, and I was with a Khmer person, and the tuk-tuk driver said, oh, that'll be $4. And I was like, psh. I reached my pocket. She was like, no. Just give him $2. I was like, why? It's just $4. She said, no, you don't understand that. He makes $5 a day. You know what I mean? So you get up early in the morning and you just walk around the city. You walk around the surroundings. Like, I ride my bicycle at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning when Siem Reap is waking up. And you see that lady come out of a little shack. And it's basically 4 walls of just metal that they found somewhere in a thatch roof, and she's sweeping off the front, and you start saying to yourself, like, wow, look at how fortunate I am. And that's why I love Siem Reap. It's like, that's why, like, some of the places I suggested you go, because I know that money stays here.